I have an idea. How about every time I say tan in today's video, you take a sip of your coffee. By the end of today's video, you're going to be like, oh yeah, I feel the caffeine, girl. I feel the caffeine. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Montana Buck if you're new here. In today's video, I sat down and we created this super bronze baby look. I'm loving how this look turned out. So tanned and glam. I quite like it. I quite like it. Really quick before we get into today's look, can we talk about these nails? This nude shade up against my tan with that nice pink hue, I'm like drooling. I'm drooling over this. They're so pretty. I'm going to post an Instagram photo of these nails, so stay tuned on IG to see it close up. Anywho, if you guys are curious as to how I created this look right here, then just stay tuned. To get started with today's look, we're going to go in with brows. Number one being my Anastasia Dipbrow pomade in the shade Chocolate. Number two is my Brunette Brow Duo by MAC Cosmetics. I do use this darker shade here. And then I'm going to go ahead and top off the brows with my Benefit Cosmetics Gimme Brow in the shade 4.5 just to add a little bit of texture. And last but not least, we're going to carve the eyebrows out with some concealer just to clean them up and give them a little bit of a nicer shape. The concealer I'll be going in with is my ColourPop No Filter Concealer. I use the shade Medium 20. So really quick off camera, I'm going to go ahead and slap on some brows and we'll be right back. Looking good, looking good. Next, we're going to move on to skin. So let's move in with some foundation. The foundation that we're going to be using for today's look is by NARS Cosmetics. This is the Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation, and I'm currently in the shade Medium 2.5. The way I've been liking to apply this is just to get a couple pumps on the side of my Morphe sponge, and then I will just dab it all over the skin to create a really nice consistent complexion. I've been wearing this foundation for quite some time now and I am obsessed with it. I especially love to wear this foundation right after I've just self-tanned. The way the tan looks with this foundation on top is so glam, honey. It's gorgeous. So I'll just give myself a nice little layer of this all over the skin. For me, this is just my perfect all over base makeup. Next, we're going to go in with a little bit more of that ColourPop No Filter Concealer. This time we're going to take this under the eye, and I'm just going to use this to cover up my dark circles as well as add a little bit of a highlighted effect just to bring light to this area. I'm adding a little extra coverage on my nose. Then I'm going to go ahead back in with that sponge and begin blending out the concealer. Now I want to set my liquid and cream face products with a little bit of my Laura Mercier Loose Translucent Setting Powder. And to apply the powder, I'm going to go in with this brush here. This is my Morphe M438. This brush is tapered, as you can see, so it's really, really great for getting right in the under eye area. It fits perfectly. So I just get a little of that powder in the cap, and then I'll use the brush to pick up the powder on the bristles and begin setting those areas where we applied our concealer. And then to pick up a larger, fluffier brush here, I'll just take whatever's left in the cap and swirl the remaining powder all over my face. This is going to set the NARS foundation that we applied all over the skin. It's also going to prepare us for when we go in with our powder bronzer. Applying a powder on top of a powder is going to help the product to really blend more seamlessly, and in the end your makeup is going to look less choppy. To bronze the skin, I'm going to pick up my Hoola Caramel Bronzer here. This is by Benefit Cosmetics, and I'm going to be applying it with this nice fluffy brush that has a cat hair on it. Oh my goodness. I like to begin swirling this into the hollows of the cheekbones. I like to take it along the jawline just to add a little bit of definition and structure to the face. And I do take my bronzer down my neck just to make sure that everything matches quite well and that we don't have any color inconsistency. So as you can see, this is the side of the face with no bronzer, and this is the side of the face with bronzer. You can see that we have a nice contoured shadow area here, and this to me is just like my perfect shade of bronze. It looks so good with my fake tan, and I love the tone. It's not too orange, it's like that perfect golden bronze, and I'm obsessed. So we're gonna go ahead and bronze up the other side as well. I also like to take some of the bronzer up into the hairline along the sides of the temples. I love this bronzer so much. When I apply this onto my skin, it makes me feel so good, so good. Picking up this smaller fluffy brush, I like to use this brush to sort of bronze up the sides of my nose. It's going to add a little bit of structure and shape as well. I just don't want to leave the nose out, so take this and just lightly shape the sides of the nose and even actually swirl this up into the contour of the eye. Next, to add some even more structure to the skin, I'm going to pick up my Morphe sponge again with a little bit more of that Laura Mercier translucent powder. I'm going to go ahead and dip that little baby sponge into the powder, and we're going to begin cutting our bronzer. So the way I like to do this is just, wow, boom, woo. We're just going to let this sit for a little bit, let that powder bake into the skin. I also enjoy stamping the sides of my nose to add a little bit of added structure in this area as well. And then just a bit between the brows, because I do make quite a bit of expressions in this area of my face throughout the day, so just so that it doesn't settle into those little fine lines. While we sit and wait for the powder to bake and do its job, we're going to pick up some highlighter. This one here is by Becca Cosmetics in the shade Opal, and I'm going to be applying it with my JH32 brush right here. So just give it a little swirl. And I like to apply it on the high points of my face. So that's going to be here on the top of the cheekbones. This adds such a gorgeous light. I'm loving. I used to be super obsessed with the Becca Cosmetics Champagne Pop Highlight, but I used 2 full-size compacts, all the way gone. All the way gone, hit pan. So I decided instead of buying that shade for a 3rd time, we could move on to a different shade. So I've been using Opal, and I love this one too. So I like to hit the top of the nose as well as in between the brows, up in this area right here, just down the bridge a little bit. So it's kind of like we're doing an exclamation point. I'll hit the upper lip as well as a tad bit right above the eyebrows. Super fresh. Picking up that same brush that we used to apply our bronzer, I'm going to use that brush to swirl away our loose translucent powder. Now we're ready to move on to eyes. The first eyeshadow palette that I want to go in with for today's eye look is this one here by ColourPop. This is the X's and O's palette. And I want to keep today's look super matte and super smoky to go with our nice bronzed skin. So I think the first shade in the palette that I want to pick up is this one here called Hooky. Starting in the outer corner, and then slowly as the product begins to leave the brush, we're going to drag that about 3/4 of the way in, and this is going to be our transition shade and prepare us for some of the darker shadows that we're going to be laying down in a minute. I have very quickly fallen in love with the ColourPop eyeshadows. They are super cost effective, they're very creamy, and they blend so nicely. I just really find myself gravitating towards this palette more often than I ever anticipated that I would. And so for that reason, I really highly recommend the ColourPop shadows. They're so fun. They're just so fun. Next in the palette, I'm going to be picking up this shade here. It's called Fortunate. And applying this with a little bit of a denser brush. I think I'm actually going to take this shade all over the lid. This shade here, Fortunate, is also going to prepare us for the darker shades that I'm going to use on the outer edges of the eye to really blow this look out and make it look extra smoky and dramatic. With that same dense brush, I'm going to pick up this shade down here. Ooh, this one right here. This is called Realness. Applying this on the lid as well, but I'm going to keep it more so focused just on the outer corner. We're not going to apply it over the whole entire lid like we did the previous shade. I'm going to pick up a similar brush. This one here is the Sigma E25. I'm going to go back into the palette and choose this lighter shade called Fortunate. And then with that one, we're going to apply this on the lower lash line, starting from outer corner all the way to inner corner. So now we're going to go in with this one here called Realness. And with this shade, we're just going to target it on the lower lash line, but just in the outer corner. We're not going to bring this shade all the way in like we did the one before. Now to highlight the arch of the brow, I'm going to pick up a different palette here. The lighter shades in the ColourPop palette are all shimmer shades, and like I have previously mentioned, I would like to keep this look today matte. So I'm going to be picking up this palette here. This is the JHX Morphe Brushes Volume 2 palette. So I'm going to choose this matte creamy shade here. This is called Certified. And I'm going to apply this shade with my Sigma brush here. This is the E45 Small Tapered Blending Brush. So just picking some of that up and applying it right on the arch of the eyebrow, just to add a lifted effect. Now I'm just going to be applying this black eyeliner on my upper waterline. Black eyeliner that I use is the NYX Slide On, Glide On, Stay On, and definitely a Turn On waterproof eyeliner in the shade Jet Black. Now we're going to be moving on to a white eyeliner. This eyeliner here is also by NYX Cosmetics. This is the Jumbo Eye Pencil in the shade Milk. This eyeliner is going to be applied on my lower waterline. Because we went in with so many dark eyeshadows, this is really going to help to open the eyes up and brighten them and make them look a little bit more awake. Going in with a third eyeliner here. This one's by Benefit Cosmetics. This is their roller liner in the shade Black. I'm going to use this one to just draw on a couple wings. I love a nice voluminous black eyelash, so I'm going to be going in with this mascara here. This is the NARS Cosmetics Climax Mascara. go ahead and apply our lashes really quick. I'm going to be lining my lips today with this liner here by KKW Beauty. This is, I believe, the Nude Zero. Yep, this is the Nude Zero lip liner. And then I'm going to go over it with this lipstick here by MAC. This is in the shade Honey Love. So as you can see, this lip combination here is very compatible. I really love how the nude lip liner matches so well with the lipstick. So this just kind of gives me a little bit of a tracing effect so I don't go outside of the lines too much with the actual lipstick. To complete today's look, we're going to lock everything in place with my new Urban Decay All-Nighter Long-Lasting Makeup Setting Spray. It claims that it has up to 16 hours of wear, it's lightweight, and it's going to lock your makeup in place all day long. This spray claims on the back of the product that it's going to keep your makeup looking gorgeously just applied for up to 16 hours without melting, without cracking, without fading or settling into fine lines. So for me, those are pretty bold claims. So let's go ahead and apply the setting spray. It says shake it and then spray it on the skin. So let's see. Oh my god, I just look so glam. So glam. I used this setting spray for the first time yesterday and I wore it to work. I believe I worked a 8-hour shift yesterday, and when I got home from work, I'm not even kidding you guys, my makeup looked like it didn't move all day. Naturally, I do have quite oily skin, so at the end of the day, my makeup looks a little bit shiny, especially in the T-zone area. When I tell you my makeup did not move, it did not move. Even right here between the eyebrows where when I make expressions, I have like little fine lines in that area. My makeup did not collect in those fine lines. Looked like I had only been wearing the makeup for maybe 4 or 5 hours tops. Definitely not for 8 or 9 hours. So when I got home, I looked at my face and I was like, this is it. This is it. I did get this setting spray on sale. I believe the original price is somewhere in the $30 range, but I found a flash sale on UrbanDecayCosmetics.com where they had a promotion for this spray being only $19. So I got on my computer and I was like, click, shipping, confirm, order to my house today. Yes, let's get it, honey. It's here and I'm so happy and it works. Was it worth the $19? Yes. I'm going to put it back in its really pretty box because I love packaging and it looks beautiful. I love the purple. I'm so happy with my purchase. I set it right here next to my perfume fragrances. Put it on display. So every time I come in my room, I see my new products and I'm like, oh. Anyways, that is all for today's look and today's video. I really hope that you enjoyed spending some time with me today. I'm going to leave all the products that I used down below in the description bar. So if you're curious as to any product, don't forget to check out the description box. It's all going to be down there. I really hope that you guys enjoyed today's 0 to 100 bronze glam look as much as I do. And I can't wait to see you in next week's video. Mwah. Bye guys.